So here's a thing, Reno, by our good friend Glenn Beck from the other side of the aisle, and he was on with Candice Owens about how George Floyd is being held up as a patron saint or something along those lines by protesters when he actually was a very bad guy. He's like Corn Pop. He's a bad dude. He's a bad dude, and he ran around with bad boys. All right, just like Corn Pop, and he must be stopped. And it's really terrible that he's being, I don't know, cared about or something. Yeah, it's true. I'm bullying this poor innocent influencer. It's really sad, actually. I don't care what George. See, this is like the meme where it's like the dude who's like, they got me on the first. They had me at the first half. I'm not gonna lie. He's I don't care what George Floyd did. The officer should have never treated him like that. Treated him like that and killed him. See, great. Thank you, Glenn Beck. Out here in force, supporting the actions. Being against the actions of violent police officers randomly just standing on people's throats in the street until they die. Great. Good. Amazing. But we must ask, is he a hero? Why would you ever ask this question? That's the first thing. Why would you ever ask this question? When is this question ever relevant to the conversation at hand? Was he a hero? Do we think that he was like saving helping like an old woman across the street or something? He was like Spider-Man. He caught like a falling truck from a supervillain. He was like apprehending like a kleptomaniac or something. No, he was just a guy. He was just a guy, and it doesn't matter how his past looked. It didn't matter about any of that. What matters is what happened in that moment, because that's all people care about. But Candice Owens, being the disgusting troglodyte that she is, has to crawl out of the woodwork to piss on George Floyd's grave because she has to maintain the narrative that black people actually aren't oppressed in the United States at all. It's actually fake, and it's all in your head, and you're just on the Democratic plantation, and they're trying to keep you situated because the Republicans really have black people's best interest in mind. The Republicans really, really have black people's best interest in mind. The Republicans are really pushing policy that would help the African American community a lot. Give me mine one. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate the follow. I really do. I hope you have a great night, bud. Sleep well. Take care of yourself. Don't get sick. All right. I love you. Mwah. No one's calling him a hero. Who's calling this guy a hero? What are you I don't know anything about George Floyd. I don't know anything about him. I know his family. I don't know his history, and I don't care. It doesn't matter. What matters is that he was murdered in the street by a rogue cop and his buddies who didn't do anything as he stood on his neck for nearly 10 minutes, almost 3 minutes of that time. He was unconscious, unresponsive, and most likely already dead. And they kept up the pressure to make sure even his limp body still couldn't breathe until his heart stopped and he died. That's what's important here. Not anything else. Not anything else was important here. But Candice Owens has to come out swinging.
I don't care if he just stabs somebody. If he's down on the ground and you have him, don't put your knee on his neck and kill him. That's ridiculous. Our police should not be doing that. However,
however, you did it. You made it. You did it. You did great. You did better than so many other people. You did it. You said the words. It's good. End the segment. You got it. What however could there be? What context? Like, this is the people who are screeching about, like, watch the video, and we're screeching about context. What context could you give to stand on someone's throat for 10 minutes? I'd love to know. There's no context ever on like this world or a parallel universe in another timeline that could ever justify that action. It's just like not. It's not. Imagine like going up to a rape victim and they're like, "Hello, I was sexually assaulted," and they're like, "Yeah, but what's the?" I remember back, as you see, they pull up their rap sheet that they got from stalking them for the last 10 years. As you see in June 11th, 2008. It seems that you actually stole a hairband from one of the girls in the locker room when you were in cheerleading when you were in 8th grade. So, I mean, sure, you getting sexually assaulted is bad. However, you're no hero. What are you talking about? There's no context in whether you like where you can like go with this that makes anything about what you're saying relevant or not implicitly justifying this guy's execution in the street. None. Oh, hello? You gonna play?
This is a guy with a very long record and a very long criminal record.
Don't care, didn't ask.
He was said to be cleaning up his life by his family. I hope that was true. But he was also high on fentanyl and dropped a bag of drugs that he was carrying at the time.
This is Candice Owens' thinking face. Let me move my camera a little bit. This is Candice Owens' thinking face to try to put together a situation where she can try to appeal to like black people while still making sure that she reinforces that that actually black people are not oppressed at all. She's trying hard. The gears are turning.
Is this really the guy?
I try and stop this, and it won't
Black America. I mean, they were very careful to pick Rosa Parks. Is this the symbol of Black America today?
Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay. Wait one moment. Un momento, por favor. Picked? What do you mean picked? What, you think he was just sent out there? They like pushed him out there. You know when you see those videos of like penguins about to jump into the ocean, and one guy at the front gets like pushed, and they see if he dies or not, and then they all jump in. They're waiting for the killer whale to just cut this guy in half, and if it doesn't happen, they're like, oh, guys, I guess it's good to go. What do you mean picked? What is it even supposed to mean? What are you talking about? No one picked Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks was just discriminated against, and that led to the culmination of a movement, the bus boycotts. That was in the ignition for already pre-existing antagonisms that was happening in that community. Rosa Parks was not picked. It doesn't matter. She wasn't like fielded. They didn't go like have an interview or something, and like there was like no casting couch. Like, so we look at your record and we're not really sure if this one's gonna work out, Chief. Like, what are you talking about? They weren't like hired or anything. What do you mean picked? They aren't picked. It just happens. It just happened. They turned into a martyr. This just happens. It doesn't matter if they were good or they were bad. What happened to them was bad. Their life previously does not matter. It just doesn't. I don't care. I don't care what he did. I really don't. No one's saying that this guy was like the best guy in the universe. He's like the Mary Poppins of his community. And this whole thing is just so terrible. It's just bad because this random dude who did literally nothing wrong was executed in the street by a rogue cop and his buddies, and they thought they could get away with it. That's the problem here. Nothing else about anything else. I don't know what this has to do with anything going on in this conversation, but I guess they're going to try and piece it together for us.
I'm going to say yes, it is a symbol of Black America today, and it's a symbol of a broken culture in Black America today, and that people are not willing to talk about, again, how we contribute to our own demise. The fact that
contribute to our own demise is like the Black people are shoveling coal into the racism machine because they decided to get really mad about a dude who was extrajudiciously murdered in the street. For having the basic call of having a counterfeit 20. Amazing. Yes, truly, we do live in a society. You're right, Candice. How sad.
That he has been held up as a martyr sickens me. George Floyd was not a good person. I don't care who wants to spin that. I don't care how CNN wants to make you think he changed his life around, or MSNBC wants you to believe he was just, after his sixth stint in prison, I think, or fifth stint in prison, really going to.
I mean, there's only one real argument against this. It's just don't care, didn't ask. I don't care. I really don't. The only people trying to peddle this out are the people trying to hand wave away or minimize this guy's murder. There's only one reason this, you talk about him, you think about it, and you're like, why are they talking about this? Why? They're presupposing that this guy was like picked. They were like vetted or something. Like he's like the CEO of. He was turned into the CEO of the of black people. He's the king of the blacks or something. What are you talking about? He inherited the throne. What are you talking about? He was just killed, and people didn't like the way he was killed because he shouldn't have been killed. And he just turned in. He just happened to become a martyr. It's not something that you become. She should anger you because she's exhibiting like extreme stupidity. Like if you put together the amount of stupid that she spews on a daily basis, honestly, it should give you a lifelong prison sentence in an international like UN court for war crimes and taking that against the like Geneva Convention. Using this much weaponized stupidity against a civilian population should be illegal. 1 million people viewed this. 1 million people. This is like our own version of like Tiananmen Square. It's really bad, actually. It's radioactive. Like if I keep this on screen for too long, I'm gonna turn into like a ghoul from Fallout. It's really bad. I can feel my skin melting off my bones at this very moment. Like I can't even imagine sitting here and think like this is how hard they have to spin it to try to they'll go through no length. It's like they're going through that big tower in American Ninja Warrior at the very end. It's like them trying to climb that mountain, trying to climb that parkour set, just trying their best to minimize this guy who's been murdered in the street, to spin it. I don't care what he did. I just don't. It doesn't matter because it doesn't matter to what we're talking about. It's really interesting what they want to talk about at what point in time. It's really, really interesting, huh?
Change things around. It's just not true. I mean, you look at this situation. Here's how I tried to see it through the eyes of the young woman who was pregnant in 2007 when a guy knocked on her door pretending that he worked for the water department. She realizes he doesn't work for the water department.
Oh, she's gonna go through like a whole story, the whole spiel. Apparently he was part of like some crime that happened. He like robbed someone at one point in time, I guess.
Attempts to slam the door in his face, only to have a car.
Maybe she should be a storyteller. Look. Don't care.
Pregnant belly threatening her and pushing her into her living room. While she is in the living room, he has another one of his armed buddies.
Oh, why is this
keep an eye
like
on her as they raid her house looking for drugs and looking for money. They did not find drugs, but they did take her cell phone, and I think they took some cash, and he escaped. Fortunately, the neighbor who observed this caught the license plate, and the police were able to track down the driver of that Ford, which was George Floyd. So that was, I think, his fifth arrest, the one that he went to prison for 5 years.
Wait a second, guys. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Wait, just stay right here. I gotta go do something really quick. Hello? Anyone? Oh. Guys, that's crazy. I just checked. And I couldn't find anyone who asked. It's damn, I must have a degenerative neurological disease because I don't remember asking. I really don't. Listen, okay? George Floyd could have been a horrible person in his regular life. He could have. He genuinely could have. If true, that sucks. What he did, that really sucks. He could have killed 2 people there, and that sucks. That's really bad. It really is. But I don't think anyone is sitting here saying that robbing someone means that you can then just be extrajudiciously murdered many years later, even after you've served your prison sentence and paid your dues to society. You're done, okay? And I don't care what that woman thinks. I really don't. Listen, when it comes to prosecuting people for the crimes that they've committed, I don't give a shit how the victim feels, okay? How they feel, even though they've been aggressed against, should not have that much bearing over how we punish people, right? If someone murders someone and you're just like, whatever, who cares? I don't know. We shouldn't just let that people off. If they rob you and you hold that as a grudge, and you hold that grudge till the day you die, that doesn't mean we should punish that person more. I don't care. It sucks that happened to you. It really does. And I hope you got the recompense that you needed to adequately recoup what you lost. And I hope the police were working with you to help ensure your safety through that trial. That being said, this has nothing to do with the topic at hand. Nothing. It really doesn't. And also, thanks. I appreciate it. Listen, I worked really hard on that. It really doesn't. There's no reason to be talking about this unless your goal is to discredit the story that's happening, to sow the seeds of doubt, and to try to minimize the murder that took place here in this situation because you don't like the guy. There's no reason to be talking about this. And that's not because we need to protect him or anything, or that because he's some like patron saint or something that the Catholics are going to pray to, or, you know, I don't have my rosary beads on me. I don't pray to George Floyd every night before I go to bed. He was just a guy that was murdered who didn't deserve to be murdered. This has no connection to his death. This has no connection to this case. This has no connection to this protest. This has no connection to the police reform. This has no connection to anything pertinent to today. It just doesn't. There's only one reason someone would be talking about this, and it's not good.